Now, Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks, to the Tom O'Brien Show. I am your guest host, Steve Rhodes. Thanks so much for joining us. Tom is on vacation this week, and hope you had a great Monday, a great weekend. And, folks, I absolutely love being here with you. I kick things off for TFNN each and every morning at 9 a.m. Now, at 9 a.m., we're taking a look at the futures market. We're taking a look at what's going on around the world. King dollar, queen euro, you name it. And I love doing the show after the markets. Now, what I want to do, folks, I want to tell you a story before we start taking a look at the story of the markets, before we start taking a look at the volume that's out there, because I don't want you driving off the side of the road when we take a look at the volume or the distribution that was going on today. So let me, Tom and I also own a business, Tiger Metal Exchange. Thank you to each and every one of you that have used it. If you're looking to be able to, cash in on some of your gold or silver jewelry, we've got the best rates out there, the best system. Go over to the homepage of Tiger Metal Exchange, order your free kit, and be happy to either help you out there, or we buy and sell gold and silver, platinum, palladium, bullion each and every day. Now, it only makes sense that I would tell you a gold story. Now, this story goes back to 23 A.D. There was a goldsmith that brought a really unusual dinner plate to the Emperor Tiberius. And Tiberius is one of Rome's great generals. In fact, he conquered most of what is now Europe. And along the way, what Tiberius did was he amassed a fortune of gold and silver. Now, the goldsmith claimed that he had extracted this metal from a plain clay using a secret technique and a formula only known to himself. Now, Tiberius, because of all of the gold and silver that he had amassed, he thought of himself as a financial expert. And he was concerned that the value of his holdings would seriously decline if people all of a sudden realized that there was a shiny new metal that was rarer than gold. So instead of rewarding the goldsmith, what Tiberius did, he had him beheaded, folks. And as it turns out, this shiny new metal was what's called aluminum. Now, that beheading, folks, what it did was it created a loss to the world of aluminum for 2,000 years. In fact, aluminum didn't reappear next until the middle 1800s, and it was still rare enough to be considered the most valuable metal in the world. Think about that, folks. You've got that in your drawers at home right now. And Napoleon III himself, he threw a banquet, and it was for the King of Siam, and each of the honored guests, folks, they were given aluminum utensils, while the rest of the patrons, they had to deal with gold forks and gold spoons. You see, aluminum's rarity comes down to this, folks. It comes down to chemistry. Now, here's an amazing statistic. Behind oxygen and silicon, aluminum is the third most abundant element in the Earth's crust. It makes up more than 8% of the weight of the world. Today, it's cheap, and it's used with a throwaway mindset. I mean, when was the last time you saved any aluminum, folks? Now, it was really the creation of a new breakthrough technology known as electrolysis, and that was discovered sometime around 1886 or so by an American chemist named Charles Martin Hall. And that changed everything. That was a game changer because suddenly everyone on the planet had access to this ridiculous amount of cheap, light, pliable metal. I imagine, folks, that each of you that are listening, you can go home and you can find out what drawer it's in. Now, history is littered with tales of once rare resources made plentiful by nothing more than innovation. The key is to identify these resources that, we once considered rare, that are now once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. You see, technology, what I refer to as innovation, can turn what was once considered sacred into abundance, what was once considered scarce into abundance. And right now, as we speak, humanity is entering a period of transformation in which technology, folks, will raise the standards of living for every man, every woman, every child on this planet. And for me, it's always about raising standards. It's always about getting to the next level. Case in point, how about cell phones? Maybe some of you are even listening to us right now on your cell phone or watching us on Tiger TV on your mobile device. I remember my first cell phone. How about you? Mine was called the Motorola Brick. How many of you out there remember the Motorola Brick? Really, it was called the Dynatac 8000. Now, when I say it was a brick, folks, you almost needed a forklift, if you will, to hold it up to your ears. It's not anything that would fit in your pocket. It would fit in most briefcases, if you will. Certainly, it would not fit in a woman's purse. Now, over the past 20 years, folks, 20 years, that's all we're talking, wireless technology and the internet have become affordable and available to basically everyone. I mean, consider this, Africa. Africa has skipped a technology generation. I mean, after Africa has passed up all the landlines. Take a look if you're driving around. Look at all the landlines that you see that, are across our skies. However, in Africa, if you will, mobile phone penetration is growing. They have skipped an entire technology generation. In 2000, 2% of folks had cell phones. 28% in 2009. Do you know what it's going to be projected for next year? This is of the planet, folks. 70%. And this means that folks with no education, with little to eat, have gained access to cellular connectivity, unheard of just 30 years ago. Now, right now, a Maasai warrior with a cell phone has got better mobile phone capabilities than the President of the United States had 25 years ago. And if he's on a smartphone, if he's got access to Google, then he's got better access to information than the president did just 15 years ago. So by the end of 2013, folks, that's next year, the vast majority of humanity will be caught up in the same worldwide web of instantaneous, low-cost communications and information. In other words, we're living in a world of information and communication abundance. So the secret, folks, the secret is to maximize what the universe is offering you and to learn how to compress decades into days. You see, that's something that I'm an expert at, because that, folks, is how you actually, really speed up your educational process. And the only way that you do that, folks, it's called immersion. Think about anything that you've ever wanted to do in your life. You've had to immerse yourself if you really wanted to learn it. And I believe that right now we have the single biggest opportunity in a generation. When you take a look at the tools that are available to you, the resources that we provide here at TFNN, your ability to play the money game, folks, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. So play the money game. I want you to think of it as aluminum that is all around you. It was once scarce, but now the information is available to you, and I want you to be able to go ahead and play the money game. Let's go take a look at the money game that's out there in these markets right now. You had the Dow up 37 points. You had the S&Ps relatively flat, up 0.22. The composite down 4. You had the small caps, the Russell 2000. They were leading the charge on the way down about 0.33%, if you will. Apple up $7, $6.83, trading out at $5.52, or closed out at $5.52. You had Cisco up 3 cents. Let's go over and take a look at the ETF structure out there, because ETF structure here, folks, you'll be able to follow along in your game at home. And let's go take a look at the volume. Let's go start off with the diamonds, with the Dow diamonds. So the Dow diamonds you have closing out at 129.46. Now, here's the volume that we did today. If we go down and we take a look at what came in just simply during the last 5 minutes, it was, probably pretty significant. We'll do that in a minute. But you had the Dow diamonds do 5 million shares, closing out at 129.46. They're up over the highs of Friday. Friday, you do 6.2 million shares. What is that going into? That's going into the swing point of February 29th, folks. That is key. You're trading inside there, but that's 7.7 million shares. Now, what you really want to take a look at is, let's take a look at the downdraft from March 6th, last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, you do a high of 129.46. You closed at 129.46. What did you do last Tuesday? You did, on the way down, 14.4 million shares. Right now, what did you do on the way up? You did 5 million shares. If you go to page number 26 in The Art of Timing the Trade, your ultimate trading and mastery system, folks, you will read about distribution. That's what distribution is. That's when you've got shares going from weak hands, or strong hands, I should say, to weak hands out there. Now, look, I'm a bull. Long term, I'm a bull. Intermediate term, I'm a bull. But right now, in the short term, while we've got this distribution going on, where we've got this light volume, I am looking for a pullback in the markets. Go take a look at the small caps. What do the small caps do today? The small caps, 33 million shares. What did we do on Friday? Friday, you did 61 million shares. What was that going into? That was going into the swing point of February 2nd. It is back inside that swing point. That swing point had 46 million shares. The top of that was 81.53. You closed out at 81.44. 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be right back.
Folks, turns out my best student became my best teacher. Steve Rhodes absolutely raised my standards, and I'll guarantee he'll raise yours.
Thanks, Tom. What I've learned is that if you want more, you must become more. And that transformation, folks, that occurs the moment you decide to become a master. Now, the quickest way to mastery is through immersion. And for 2 solid days in Denver, Boston, and Tampa, I'll create a new standard of wealth for those few trader investors who have a burning desire to succeed. At my Master Trader course, I'll teach you how to create the ultimate money machine. These are the best kept secrets in the business. Roadblocks, folks. Dabblers give up when they first appear. Stressors last just a little bit longer, but masters expect roadblocks and achieve extraordinary results when they bust right through them. I have all the benefit of knowing the type of wealth creation that I can generate for you. You don't. That's why I'm making this unconditional money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're not satisfied with my Master Trader course, I'll refund every penny. That's right. I take all the risk and you get all the benefit. Go to the homepage at TFNN.com and sign up today.